Hey, what's up, guys? Hope everybody's doing well and having a great day. A lot of whistleblowing going on here lately regarding unidentified flying objects and some very prominent people talking about the recovery of objects that may not have been from planet Earth. We're going to come back and at least touch on this big news here in just a moment. Also, in this video, I want to share with you guys yet another white object like we've seen 2 or 3 times already in the last week. Here's another view of a white object from Albany, Georgia. Video taken by Mary C. back on March 20th at 9:20 in the morning, and there's that object right there in the sky. I'm going to zoom in. We'll take a closer look. This looks very similar to the object we saw this week in Arkansas, to the object we saw in Kentucky and multiple other places here recently. There's that same mysterious white object. Right there it is. Looks to be the same exact thing that we've been talking about now for actually several months, but quite a few times here in just the last week. There it is again. I think one time we saw it above Scottsdale, one time above Arkansas, and one time above Kentucky, and there it is again above Albany, Georgia. So yet another observation of a mysterious white object in the daytime sky. And coming over to the homepage of the website, today's feature photo was sent in by Christine from Lake Erie, Ohio, looking at the sun behind yet another thick layer of wildfire smoke visible from Ohio. Checking in on the GOES X-ray flux over here at the Space Weather Prediction Center. Yet another strong M-class solar flare in the last 24 hours. Looking at the Earth-facing side of the sun. Video footage submitted by Scott. This is from yesterday evening around 7 p.m. And you can see the large sunspot right there directly facing the Earth. And here's a new one up here in the northeastern quadrant that's turning our way. And Scott managed to get a close-up view right there of that very large sunspot that has grown exponentially in the last 24 hours. And looking at the power outage situation over here at poweroutage.us, slowly but surely getting the power back on. Things look a lot better than they have in the last 48 hours. We're still looking at 30,000 customers in Tennessee without electricity, just over 12,000 in California, 9,800 in Arkansas, and 6,500 in Florida. So overall, starting to slowly but surely get the power back on. Hopping over to the Yellowstone supervolcano caldera, looking at the seismographs that monitor the mighty supervolcano, looking at earthquake activity once again along the northern edge of the caldera at Soda Butte and over here at Mammoth Vault, showing considerable earthquake activity in the last 24 hours, even at Little West Thumb down here in the middle of Yellowstone Lake. So a little bit of earthquake activity at the supervolcano. Checking in on the wildfire smoke over here at Zoom.Earth, and you can see yet another large plume of smoke making its way down into the United States, occupying Minnesota, Wisconsin, Illinois, Indiana, Ohio, Michigan, and then of course Canada from coast to coast, spanning thousands of miles. Right now the wildfires are the strongest over here in Quebec. I do have some new photos and videos I wanted to share with you guys that have been sent in recently of the wildfire smoke visible from the States and of course up in Canada. This first video was sent in by Vicky out of Greenfield, Indiana. That is a sunset behind a thick layer of wildfire smoke above Indiana just a few days ago, and that object you saw right there was a bird that was in the field of view as she was filming the sun behind the wildfire smoke going from Indiana to Maine. Video footage submitted by Hillary from June 25th of 2023. Same situation, very thick layer of wildfire smoke up in Maine, and the overall air quality has just been deplorable for quite some time now, not only in Canada, but off and on down here in the United States, and it's impacting air travel. From what I understand, there were almost 2,000 flights that were slowed down or delayed because of the poor air quality. And these next photos were sent in by Alfredo out of Ontario. The photos were taken yesterday, and you can clearly see there's a very thick layer of wildfire smoke in his location in Ontario. And again, the wildfire smoke spanning coast to coast up in Canada, going from Canada down to Roberts, Illinois. Photos sent in by Bobby from yesterday, June 27th, and it looks like Canada here in Illinois. That's how thick the wildfire smoke is down here in the United States, especially east of the Mississippi River. Very thick layer of smoke in Illinois. This next segment's a video. It has narration. It's from Ontario, and I want you guys to hear what the young lady says about the wildfire smoke that she's experiencing up in Ontario.
I'm not sure if you're able to see or tell in the video, but there's a crazy white smog or fog / smoke above Chatham, Kent, Ontario right now. And I can tell you that At 1 o'clock today, there was none. And I can also tell you that it smells like burning plastic, despite the fact that it is supposed to be wildfire residue from Quebec. We are in southwestern Ontario, and it's almost hard to breathe, but it's not wood smoke. It doesn't smell like a campfire. It doesn't smell like, oh gosh, what else does it not smell like? I've smelled forest fires before, and it doesn't smell like one of those. It smells like burning plastic.
So as we mentioned at the beginning of the video when we were talking about the wildfire smoke and the air quality conditions in Canada and the United States, she goes on to say that the smoke up here was smelling like plastic for some reason, and obviously she's been smelling wildfire smoke as the wildfires have been burning up here for weeks, but for some reason, yesterday, the wildfire smoke in her location in Ontario, the video footage submitted by Sarah, she said smelled like burnt plastic for some reason. Has anybody else experienced that with regard to the wildfire smoke, especially here recently? This video was taken yesterday on June 27th. I want to take you guys now to Rochester, New York. I received this video footage by Anne Marie. This too is from yesterday, June 27th. Doesn't have anything to do with wildfire smoke, but it has to do with some strange airplane activity above her location. She said she could hear these airplanes coming before she saw them. And I also wanted to point out the very obvious power lines in this video. There's clearly power lines here, and they're unmistakable. Unlike the video we saw yesterday, they look like power lines, but I'm not so sure they were. Anyway, this video has narration. It was sent in by Anne Marie from yesterday.
Two, and then there's two following each other. What's going on? You gotta send this to Mr. MBB. What's going on? I better go check the news. Check the news. 1, 2, 3, 4.
And here I zoomed in on what she was looking at, or what she was focusing on, as these airplanes flew over her location. And you can clearly see these two airplanes probably practicing some sort of maneuver, but they almost look like they're touching each other in the middle of the daytime sky. Definitely not something you see every day. And this video footage, once again, was sent in by Anne Marie out of Rochester, New York. And again, we can clearly see the power lines, as this is a very large community up here. Rochester, New York is a big city, unlike Colquitt, Oklahoma. That's a very small community of 750 people, and you wouldn't expect to see a lot of power lines and big guy wires in Colquitt, Oklahoma. So definitely not something you see every day. And she said at the beginning of the video she heard those airplanes coming as they were flying very, very low above her location in Rochester, New York. And speaking of lines, do you guys remember a few years back I did a video on this mysterious line that showed up on Google Earth that appeared to wrap around at least half of the Earth, at least the side we could see right here. There was this mysterious straight line that showed up on Google Earth, and not only was this line visible on Google Earth, it was also visible from the ground. This goes back to 2019, and these were a couple of still images that were shared with me of this very long line visible from the ground as well. And I've got some new video footage of what looks like some sort of a mysterious line in the daytime sky sent in by @Portugal Center North from June 20th of 2023. You can clearly see something went through the sky, very low apparently, leaving a trail through the low deck of clouds, or there's something else going on. I don't know, but it was totally obvious. That's what compelled them to take the video, share it with me. I'm sharing it with you guys. Some sort of a mysterious long line in the daytime sky that extends for quite a ways. Not quite horizon to horizon, but does occupy most of the visible sky in their location. And I'm pretty sure this is out of Portugal. Going back a little over a week on June 20th of 2023, something mysterious, or maybe it wasn't mysterious, I don't know. This just appeared out of nowhere. I don't think they saw what created this in the daytime sky, but it certainly left a unique impression in the clouds in the sky above Portugal. And that was the video footage, and they also shared some still images. And I think this is a continuation of that very long, mysterious line in the daytime sky above Portugal. Definitely not something you see every day, and they were compelled to take photos and videos of this very unique sky back on June 20th of 2023, visible from Portugal. And I wanted to touch base on the big news I'm sure most of you have heard by now, pretty much all of you have heard by now, the news going around of possible otherworldly crafts being retrieved, and this has been going on for quite some time, and that's the news that's going around. Just the very fact that these well-respected people are even even talking about this. This type of news is big news. It's definitely big news. And in this article, they shared this photo right here that was taken, I believe, by a Navy pilot several years ago. We were looking at something very similar to that right here. Gentleman from Arkansas by the name of John saw that in the daytime sky above Arkansas. See the similarities? They look very similar in nature. This was just a few days ago, and this one here was a few years ago. So this phenomenon is not necessarily anything new. As far as retrieving objects on the ground, that's definitely something new, and that is big news indeed. But here recently, I've had several people share this article and others just like it about these well-respected people coming forward talking about these programs and how they've discovered multiple mysterious objects of mysterious origins, otherworldly origins right here on planet Earth. And to be quite honest with you guys, it doesn't surprise me not one bit. Thanks for the photos and videos, guys. Keep them coming. If you guys have any photos you'd like to share, you can send those to reports@mrmbb333.com. And if you guys have any videos you'd like to share that are too large to attach to the email, come over here to the homepage of the website. You can always find a link down below in the description box. Look for this red tab that says have a large video. Simply click on the red tab. It's a Dropbox. Drag and drop your video into the Dropbox. Please include your first name, date, and location, and I'll take it from there. Thanks for watching. Have a super day, and be safe out there.